Hello everyone. Let's continue with the next part of breathing and exchange of gases. In the yesterday's session, we have came across various types and the functions of the respiratory organs, and we are continuing the next part of it. Okay, now in the human respiratory system, we came across various organs, mainly the external nostrils, then nasal cavity, pharynx, larynx, trachea, then finally the lungs. Now in this session we are going to continue the next part of it. Okay, now as far as the respiratory system is concerned, in the respiratory system yesterday we came across a common passage for food and air. What is that? Yes, it is the pharynx. The pharynx, which is involved in human respiratory system, is oropharynx, nasopharynx or laryngopharynx. So these are the three parts of the pharynx. As we have discussed yesterday, nasopharynx and laryngopharynx are the parts which are involved in the respiratory system, while oropharynx is involved in the digestive system. That means the food will travel through the oropharynx into the esophagus, and air will travel through the nasopharynx and then the laryngopharynx. Okay, now the larynx, where we call it as a voice box also, it is having a rounded shape. Now here in this rounded shape, the air will be entering. Now from the oral cavity, what we say is when the food enters into the esophagus, what closes this larynx region. Now the larynx, opening of the larynx, we call it as a glottis part. On the glottis, we have a flap-like structure which is called as a epiglottis. When food bolus enters, it closes this glottis and the food bolus will enter into the esophagus. Suppose if the food enters into this glottis, it leads to choking, that means coughing. Okay, so that's why we have these structures also. Okay, then apart from this, we came across the lung. In the lung, total number of alveoli which are present, okay, in both the lungs together. So here what we say is there are around 750 million alveoli in the lungs. 750 million alveoli in both the lungs. The average is said to be 450 million. Average is 450 million alveoli. Okay, and if we stretch the alveoli, the surface area will increase in such a way that we can cover a tennis court. Look at the length. That means the surface area is increased by this sac-like structures where we call it as an alveoli. Okay, so this is regarding the part of the alveoli. So the maximum number of alveoli that are present in the humans is around 750 million, and the average number of alveoli present in the human lung is 480 million. Okay, so with this, let's move on to the next part of the human respiratory system. Now in the human respiratory system, we are moving into the next process where we call it as a breathing, and that is the mechanism of breathing. Already we know the definition of breathing. Breathing is nothing but intake of air, giving out of air, or we also call it as a intake of oxygen and giving out of carbon dioxide. Is called as a breathing. Now here we come across the heading called as a mechanism of breathing. Now in the mechanism of breathing, there are mainly two processes. The first process is said to be inspiration. Second one is expiration. These are the two process or a mechanism of breathing. So in the mechanism of breathing, we come across inspiration and expiration. Apart from these, we come across additional terms also, and those additional terms are said to be external respiration and internal respiration. External respiration and internal respiration. Okay. Now first let's see what happens in inspiration and expiration, then we'll look at the definition of external respiration as well as internal respiration. Okay. Now what is the inspiration? Inspiration, as the definition says, intake of air. Okay. Now as in this diagram you can see the mechanism of breathing is going on. He is taking in air and giving out air. The same mechanism occurs in our body also. Okay, and then what are the changes that we observe during inspiration as well as expiration? Okay, so let's see the characteristics of inspiration as well as expiration. Now, in the inspiration, when we take in air, what are the changes that we observe in our lungs? Okay, the first change is when air enters into the lungs, then we have on the lower side of the lungs we have a dome shaped diaphragm. Now this dome shaped diaphragm, it gets flattened. That means the diaphragm gets flattened, okay, because of the expansion of the lungs. Then apart from this, the thoracic pressure is reduced. That means the chest pressure, the thoracic pressure gets reduced. Then lungs expand and pulmonary volume increases. Ultimately the lung has to get expanded, so lungs will expand. So expansion of lungs leads to a pressure that exerts on the diaphragm. This dome shaped diaphragm, it gets flattened. Okay. Then intrapulmonary pressure decreases. That means when we take in air, the intrapulmonary pressure will decrease. Then air moves from outside into the lungs. From the exterior medium, air will enter inside the lungs. Okay. Then along with that, one more most important reason, in between the ribs, there are certain muscles where we call them as intercostal muscles. These are the, suppose if these are the ribs, outside is exterior, inside is interior. Outside also we have muscles, inside also we have muscles. Both together are referred as a common name called as intercostal muscles. Outer one is called as external intercostal muscles. Inside is called as internal intercostal muscles. Both these muscles will contract. Because of this contraction of these muscles, the ribs will move forward and the ribs will move upward. So forward movement and upward movement is brought by the internal and external intercostal muscles. So these are the changes that we observe during inspiration. Okay, then let's go to the expiration. Exactly opposite is expiration. So what happens during the process of expiration? Okay, now during the process of expiration, the changes that we observe during this process is intercostal muscles and diaphragm gets relaxed. The internal intercostal muscles, that means external and internal intercostal muscles gets relaxed. Okay, when they get relaxed, then the air will move out of the lungs. The air will move out of the lungs. Okay, now look at this. Intercostal muscles and diaphragm gets relaxed. The flattened diaphragm will become dome shaped. Then thoracic regains its original position. That means the chest region, where we call it as thoracic, it goes to its original position. Thoracic volume, that means the inside thoracic volume gets decreased. Then pulmonary volume gets decreased. Air moves out of the lungs. Okay, that means when the intercostal muscles gets relaxed, the ribs will move downward and inwards. Exactly opposite to that of inspiration. Then the diaphragm as it gets flattened during inspiration, during expiration when air moves out, it becomes dome shaped. So this already you know it. Okay. So this is regarding the process of expiration. So inspiration and expiration together forms the mechanism of breathing. So breathing involves two steps, inspiration and expiration. Inspiration, intake of air and the changes that occurs in the respiratory system in our lungs during inspiration, and expiration is giving out of air and the changes that occurs in our respiratory system during the expiration process. Okay, so this is regarding the part of mechanism of breathing. Then, how many times does a person breathe per minute? The rate of breathing per minute is 12 to 16 times per minute. It is the rate of breathing. Remember this one, which is of most important also. The rate of breathing per minute is 12 to 16 times per minute. That means per minute intake of air and giving out of air is called as one breath. It is also called as a one breathing. So how many times do we breathe? We breathe 12 to 16 times per minute. Okay. Then let's look at the internal respiration and external respiration. Now, as far as the internal respiration and external respiration is considered, external respiration, this is also called as a pulmonary respiration, and the second one is an internal respiration. This is also called as a tissue respiration. Look at the two terms. What is the difference? External respiration, which is also called as a pulmonary respiration. What is pulmonary respiration? Respiration through the lungs is said to be pulmonary respiration. Now, in this pulmonary respiration, what happens? Exchange of gases occurs in between the alveoli of lungs and the blood vessels. Okay, in the lungs only. This type is said to be external respiration. That means exchange of gases between alveolus and the blood vessel is said to be external respiration. So exchange of gases. So exchange of gases occurs between alveolus and the blood vessels in the lungs. This is said to be external respiration, or also called as pulmonary respiration. The name it gains by the respiration where exactly it occurs, the site where it occurs. Then internal respiration, also called as tissue respiration. This is exchange of gases between the blood and the body cells. So this is between blood and the body cells. Now this is most important here. So we are stressing only on this point here, and here we are stressing only on this point. So these are important here. Okay, we are not going into the entire story of this. We are interested into the main major point for the external respiration. Now in the NEET part, the alternative names will be asked. You should be very alert of these alternative terms also. Now external respiration is also called as pulmonary respiration. Internal respiration is also called as what? Tissue respiration. Okay, so this is regarding the part. Then what is the rate of breathing per minute? 12 to 16 times per minute. Okay, so this is regarding the part of the mechanism of breathing. Okay, then in the next part we are looking at the respiratory volumes. Let's go to the respiratory volumes. Okay. Now before going to the respiratory volumes, we have an instrument which is used to measure the rate of breathing or the rate of respiration. The instrument which is used to measure the rate of breathing is said to be spirometer, or it is also called as a respirometer. The instrument which is used to measure the rate of breathing. That instrument is called as a spirometer or respirometer. Okay, so this is regarding the instrument. Remember the instrument. Okay, now here instruments are also important as far as the NEET point of view is concerned. Okay, then this is the instrument, spirometer, respiratometer, and here you can see there is a pipe here where he is blowing the air, and he is taking in air, he is giving out air. That will be recorded in a machine, and that instrument is said to be respirometer or spirometer. More oftenly we use this spirometer instead of respirometer. Alternative term is also there, but we use this term. Okay, then let's move on to the respiratory volumes. Okay, now here we have a chart of the respiratory volumes. Now in the respiratory volumes, we are measuring what different types of respiratory volumes are present. What are these? First one is said to be the tidal volume. Second one is said to be the inspiratory reserve volume. Third one is said to be expiratory reserve volume. And fourth one is said to be the residual volume, or it is also called as a RV. These are the four major respiratory volumes which are actually measured, and they are of most important because these four will carry with the next respiratory volumes. Okay, then what are those? First one is called as a tidal volume, which is also called as in short abbreviated as TV, and the second one is called as a expiratory reserve volume, which is called as a IRV. Then third one is expiratory reserve volume, which is called as a ERV, and last one is a residual volume, which is called as a RV. So these four are most important. It is not visible here on the screen, but I am writing it. Now tidal volume. What is a tidal volume? What is an inspiratory reserve volume? What is expiratory reserve volume? What is a residual volume? Sometimes the definition of these will be given. You have to identify what respiratory volume it is. Okay. Now look at this. These are the respiratory volumes here. Volume of air inspired or expired during a normal respiration. That means amount of air where we are taking in and giving out during normal breathing is called as a TB. This is what is called as a tidal volume. Okay, and the amount is in terms of ml, 500 ml. It is in terms of ml. Volume is around 500 ml. Okay, so here we can write a little bit inside. This is around 500 ml. So volume of air. Now in between we have the definition for this. What is a tidal volume? Amount of air taken in and given out during normal breathing. Then expiratory reserve volume. It is the maximum amount or volume of air that can be taken into the lungs during a forceful inspiration. That means when you take a deep breath, the total volume or amount of oxygen or air that is taken into the lungs is said to be IRV. Okay, and this IRV is around 2500 to 3000 ml. These numbers are most important, remember, and one question will appear from this. Okay, this is a 500 ml, this is 2500 to 3000 ml of air can be taken during IRV, inspiratory reserve volume. The next one is expiratory reserve volume, exactly opposite to that. the volume of air that can be given out of the lungs during forceful expiration. So during forceful expiration, the volume of air that is given out is said to be ERV, and its volume is around 1000 to 1100 ml. It is around 1000 to 1100 ml. Then residual volume, the volume of air remaining in the lungs even after forceful expiration is called as RV, residual volume. Residue means what remains at the end. That means remember, lungs never gets emptied. Lungs never get 0 ml. If it becomes 0, you will die on the spot. So that never happens. So that's why residual volume, some amount of air will be present in the lungs, and that amount of air or volume is around 1100 to 1200 ml. This is RV. Okay, and there will be a comparative account in between these also. Okay, whose volume is greater? Okay, whether the volume of TV is greater than RV, whether it is greater than IRV, or whether it is greater than ERV. Okay, so that's why remember the volumes. Okay, so this is regarding the 4 major respiratory volumes. They are actually major. The next part where we come across, it is calculated. It is calculated by these parts only. Okay, it is calculated by these respiratory volumes only. So let's see those now. So let us go to the 5th one now. Okay, here we come across the 5th one. 5th one is inspiratory capacity, where we call it as IC. Then 6th one is expiratory capacity, where we call it as EC. 7th one is functional residual capacity, where it is called as FRC. 8th one is vital capacity, where we call it as VC. Last one is called as total lung capacity. Okay, so these are the volumes. Inspiratory capacity IC. Now expiratory capacity, which is abbreviated by EC. Functional residual capacity FRC, and vital capacity VC, along with the total lung capacity, where we call it as a PLC. Okay, then we have the definition for this also. Inspiratory capacity, it is a volume of air that can inspire after a normal expiration. The volume of air that can be inspired after normal expiration, and this includes PV plus IRV. Inspiratory capacity IC is represented by PV plus IRV. Already we know the volume of TV. Already we know the volume of inspiratory reserve volume IRV. Okay, add them. It comes to be how much? 3000 to 3500 ml. Okay, now next part is only addition. We are adding, because the first 4 volumes are important, as I have told you. First one is a tidal volume, then inspiratory capacity, not inspiratory capacity, it is a inspiratory reserve volume, expiratory reserve volume, and RV. So these 4 are most important. Based on these 4 only, the rest of these next 5 will run. Okay, so IC is given by PV plus IRV. Okay, that means volume of air that can be inspired during normal expiration is said to be IC. And remember, this definition will be asked, and you have to identify what type of respiratory volume it is. Okay, now expiratory capacity, volume of air that can be expired after a normal inspiration. After normal expiration, the volume of air that can be expired out is said to be expiratory capacity EC. and it is given by TV plus ERV. It is given by TV plus ERV. That means during normal breathing, the volume of air that can be removed out of the lungs. Okay, that's why it is TV plus ERV. This is also same, but it is IRV. Then add this. This is a 500 ml and calculate with an ERV. So total it comes to be 1500 to 1600 ml. 1500 to 1600 ml. Okay. The next FRC, functional residual capacity. Now here we have the definition. Volume of air that will remain in the lungs after a normal expiration. So volume of air that will remain in the lungs after normal expiration is said to be FRC, and this FRC is given by ERV plus RV, or RV, residual volume plus expiratory reserve volume. Okay, add this, then how much ml you will get? It is around 2100 to 2300 ml. Okay, that is a volume. The next one, vital capacity, which is given by VC. So this vital capacity is nothing but maximum volume of air that can breathe in after a forced expiration, or maximum volume of air that can be breathed out after a forceful inspiration. That means during normal breathing, the volume of air that can be taken into the lungs and the maximum volume of air that can be given out of the lungs. Normal respiration is TV, maximum intake of air is IRV, maximum giving out of air is ERV. So all these three together will be added. So that's why it is given by ERV plus TV plus IRV. Okay, add this all. What is the volume you get? You will get about 3500 to 4500 ml. So this is the volume where we get. The next one is TLC, total lung capacity. So TLC is given by the maximum amount of air that can be accommodated in the lungs is said to be TLC. The maximum amount of air that the lungs can accommodate. That means here we are adding all the four. So what are these four? We are adding TV plus IRV plus ERV plus RV. Add all. This TLC, total lung capacity. Maximum amount of air that the lungs can accommodate is said to be TLC, and it is around 5000 to 6000 ml. Okay, so this is regarding the part of the respiratory volumes. Okay, so with this, the next continued part is regarding the transport of gases and even the thickness of the alveolar membrane, the blood vessels, how exactly the exchange of gases occurs in the lungs as well as in the tissue level. So that part we will continue in the next class.